So we'll begin in child's pose. So come to kneeling on the mat with the knees wide, toes together behind you, pushing the hips back and extending the arms long. Forehead down to the mat, and begin to breathe here. Deep inhales filling up the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And a complete exhale all the way out through the mouth, emptying, filling up through the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And exhaling completely through the mouth, allowing your eyes to gently close or your gaze to soften. Pushing the hips back onto the heels. Continuing to breathe deeply like this. On the next inhale, filling up through the belly, the ribs, and the chest, begin to exhale through the nose, constricting the back of the throat just a little bit to get that ujjayi breath sound. Continuing to breathe deeply, bringing your focus inward, bringing your focus onto the mat. Try to continue this ujjayi breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose throughout the class. When you're ready, begin to walk the hands over to the left, allowing the shoulders and the head and the neck to move to the left, maybe overlapping the hands so that you feel a good stretch on the right side of the body. Breathing here, breathing into the right ribs, allowing them to begin to open, allowing the spine to lengthen. For 3, 2, and 1. Gently walking back to the center and walking your hands over to the right for the other side. Allowing the head to rest down where it lands. Maybe walking a little further as you breathe. Allowing that left side of the rib to open, expanding, and breathing. On the next inhale, rocking the hands back into the center, pushing the hips back under the heels one more time. Deep inhale, exhale, coming up into a table position. Hands flat on the floor underneath the shoulders, fingers spread wide, knees underneath the hips, spine long, gaze just slightly forward of the fingertips. Inhaling and exhaling here for one breath. On the next inhale, drop the belly, tilt the tailbone up to the sky, pull the chest forward for cow. Exhaling for cat, tilting the tailbone down towards the floor, pushing into the mat, allowing the spine to round upward. Inhaling into cow. And exhaling into cat. We'll go through 5 more rounds of this, just following your own breath. On the inhale, pulling the chest forward through the arms, gaze forward. Exhale, leading from the bottom of the spine, rolling up to the cat. Inhaling, letting the belly sink, letting the shoulders fall away from the ears. Exhaling, pushing into the mat, rounding the spine. Go at your own pace. 2 more rounds. Add in any movements that you need to just get that spine beginning to warm up a little bit today. We'll be doing some twisting today and some core work, so we definitely want to warm up the spine. When you're ready, Coming back into a neutral spine. Inhaling and extending that left leg long. Up a little bit. Placing the ball of the foot onto the mat. Powering up the leg so that you feel a little bit of a stretch in your calf muscle. Nice strong leg here. Begin to come onto the right fingertips and bringing your weight into your right knee and your left hand. Now here, if you have sensitive knees, grab a blanket or something. I know it's a little uncomfortable sometimes to put all your weight on your knee. So a blanket here to help. Coming into the weight with weight on the left hand and the right knee. And begin to lift that back leg up if you are able. If that's difficult, you can keep the toes on the ground. And inhaling the right arm long. So we're here, entire stretch, or here with the toes on the ground. Come to whatever place that you can, and that goes for any pose here today. So just use your own judgment. You know your body best. You can get the benefits even with modifications. Inhaling, long spine, reaching forward with the hand, reaching the heel towards the back wall with the toes flexed. Take another deep inhale and exhale. Bring that right elbow to your left knee under your body if you can. Maybe curl your forehead towards your knee. We'll do this a couple times. Inhaling, reach long. Exhaling, knee to elbow. Inhaling, reach long. Exhaling, knee to elbow. I like to blow it out really loud. Inhaling and exhaling, crunch it in. 3 more times. You can go at your own pace. Exhaling. Inhaling long. Exhaling. And last one. Exhaling, crunch it in. Inhaling, stretch long just for 1 more breath. Maybe lift that leg a little bit higher. And release back down to tabletop. Move around a little bit. Shake out your wrist or your knee if you need to. And then we'll begin to prepare for the other side. So bringing the right leg long, placing the ball of the foot on the mat. Beginning to lift that leg up, level with the spine. Begin to bring the weight into the right hand, coming to fingertips on the left, and inhaling long. 1 deep breath here, extending as long as you can, left arm far towards the front, right heel reaching back. Another deep inhale and exhale, crunch it in, left elbow to right knee, under the body, forehead down, inhaling long, exhaling, inhaling long, exhaling, crunch, inhaling long, exhaling, 4, inhale, exhale, 5, we'll do 2 more, inhaling long, exhale, crunch it in, inhale long, exhale, crunch it in, inhaling back, reaching out, 1 more deep breath here, maybe lifting that heel high, arm reaches, and release back down to tabletop. Wiggle it out a little bit, and we'll move in to our downward facing dog here in a moment. So remove any props that you had. We're in tabletop, we've got our fingers spread nice and wide, shoulder width apart. Begin to tuck those toes, pressing the hips back and up. And finally, allowing the heels to draw towards the floor. If the heels don't reach the floor, it's preferable to just keep them up rather than compromising the straightness of your spine. So focusing on lengthening that spine, lengthening that tailbone towards the sky, pressing the chest sort of towards the tops of the thighs. Breathing here, gaze is in between the feet. Walk it out, straightening the left leg and bending the right. And straightening the right leg and bending the left. Move around. Whatever you need to get comfortable and settled in your first downward dog tonight. 1 more deep breath. And inhaling, gaze forward. Move your feet towards your hands by taking a couple tiny steps all the way up to the hands. Inhaling with the flat back, bringing the hands to the outside of the shins. Gaze forward, sternum forward, chest forward. Exhaling to fold. Allow the head to hang. Allow the spine to relax. And inhaling, rolling slowly, starting at the bottom of the spine all the way up. Arms up, gaze up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's check in with our Tadasana mountain pose. So feet can be hips width apart, like so, with the outer edges of the feet parallel. So that'll kind of end up positioning your feet slightly inward. The other option would be to have toes touching and heels slightly apart here. Working from the base up, we'll begin to lift the knees, engaging the quads. We'll engage the low belly. At the same time, we'll draw the tailbone downward slightly. The shoulders fall away from the ears, shoulder blades down the back. Chest lifts, and the chin drops just a little. Palms forward. Breathe in your Tadasana. Soft gaze. Whenever we come back to Tadasana in between sequences, try to remember to check in on all of those alignment points. One more breath here, and we'll do a couple of sun salutations to continue with the beginning of the class. Inhaling, arms up, gaze up. Exhaling, fold all the way down. Let the head hang. Inhaling for a flat back. Exhaling, fold, planting the hands, stepping back. Sounds my phone, I apologize for that. Into a high plank. Now you can just skip high plank if you'd like to and go back directly into a downward facing dog. Or you can use the knees to come down into a low push-up with the knees on the ground, and then come into a baby cobra with the toes flat on the mat. The other option for the vinyasa, which we'll do a couple times, will be to keep a high plank. This will be the full version. Exhaling to low plank. Inhaling, upward facing dog with just the hands and the tops of the feet touching the mat. And exhaling to flip the toes into downward facing dog. So choose, whatever your preferred method of vinyasa is, and all of them are just fine. You can mix it up if you want to, so that option is always there for you. And let's just meet in downward facing dog again and breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gaze forward. Move the feet to the hands. Inhaling for a flat back. Exhaling to fold. And inhaling. Slowly rise all the way up. Arms up. Hands to heart center. And down by the side for Tadasana. We'll do 2 more rounds of sun salutation A. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhaling for a flat back. Exhaling, plant the hands and step back, high plank. Try to make your breaths last the entirety of the movement. Inhaling here, exhaling lower. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling for downward facing dog. Breathing here. Nice deep breaths. Really pushing the tailbone towards the sky as if somebody's lifting you up with a string. Lengthening in the spine. Head and neck are relaxed. Inhaling, gaze forward. Exhaling, make your way. Feet to hands. Inhaling for flat back. Exhaling, fold. And inhaling, roll all the way up. Gaze up. Exhaling, hands to heart center, down by the side. One more time. At your own pace if you know it. Exhaling to fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, planting the hands. High plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Breathe here for 5 breaths. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's inhale our right leg high. Exhale, bringing that knee towards in between the hands. And when you reach as far as you can, step that foot in between the hands. If it doesn't make it, then you can just scooch it up in between your hands like that. If you have a hard time balancing in crescent lunge, which is this pose, then you can slowly make your way up using your hands on your knee gently, or you can come down to knee on the mat. But making your way up into whatever version of crescent lunge that you practice. If your knee is on the mat, begin to try to lift it up. As you turn that back left foot out, placing the outer edge of the foot onto the mat, turning the hips open towards the left, bending deeply in the front knee and opening the arms wide. Gaze over the front right hand for warrior 2. Inhaling and exhaling in warrior 2. If you need to come out of it for a little bit of a break and then ease back into it, that's perfectly fine. Another breath or 2 here. Deepening that bend in the front knee, making sure that the knee is not extending past the ankle and it's angling towards the pinky toe. Inhaling and exhaling one more. On the next inhale, straightening that right leg, turning the feet parallel, outer edges parallel so the toes are slightly in. Inhaling, arms wide, keeping that core engagement. Exhaling, hands to hips. Inhale, lift the chest, gaze up, and exhale, use the strength of your core to bend forward until the back is flat and parallel to the ground. Inhale here again, and exhale, fold all the way forward as deep as you can go. If you've got a prop around, this is a great time to use it if your hands don't actually touch the ground. But right now we're just hanging. So if your hands don't touch, they can just hang elbow to elbow. Just for 3 breaths here. Breathing deeply into the stretch that you're getting in the hips, keeping those feet gripping the mat. On the next inhale, planting the hands, flattening the back chest forward. Exhale here. Moving that right hand to the middle, right underneath your chest. And then on the next inhale, trying to keep the hips stable, let's just open the chest to the left. You can keep your hand on your hip, opening the chest to the left. No movement in the hips. We don't want them to get off kilter here. Feeling a twist in the upper and middle back. Gaze can be over to the left. Inhaling and exhaling, you can begin to reach that arm up high if you want to. That's within your reach. Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. On the next exhale, bringing that left hand down, switching hands, planting the left hand, and placing the right hand on the hip. On the inhale, begin to turn that chest towards the right. Breathing here. Making sure to check in with the hips, that they're level. Beginning to open that right arm, stretch it up high. Breathing for 3, 2. On the exhales, allow yourself to twist deeper. And 1. Release down to the mat. Bringing hands back to hips. And on the next inhale, slowly rising up using your core strength. Now we'll turn out the toes of the left foot, really sealing that right outer edge of the foot into the mat, and begin to bend in the left knee, coming into a warrior 2 on the other side. We'll breathe here again, remembering to engage our left hip, drawing it in towards the midline, Tracking our left knee over our left pinky toe. And pressing that outer right edge into the mat. Gaze over the left hand. Shoulders drop. Breathing here. Again, if you need to straighten, just take a break and then come back into it and deepen the knee bend. You may do that. One more deep inhale, and then exhale. Let's drop the hands, pick up the right toe to the ball of the foot, and now we're facing the back of our mats, but that's okay. Plant the hands, and let's just step right back into a downward facing dog. You can go through your vinyasa if you'd like to. We'll breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's lift the left leg this time. Inhaling, exhaling, bringing that knee through as close as you can, get it to your nose, and then placing it between the hands. Get it there however works for you. This time, come up into a crescent lunge again first, just to align ourselves and get ourselves off the ground. Inhaling here, making your way up. Exhaling, opening into a warrior 2, placing that right back outer edge of the foot onto the mat. Bending deeply, relaxing into the pose, but also strengthening and engaging the legs and the core. Inhaling and exhaling here. Let's inhale, straighten that left leg, turn the feet in, and then pivot them so that the toes are facing at something like a 45-degree angle out. We want the knees and the toes to be going in the same direction. We'll come up into a cactus arm, pulling those shoulders and elbows back, but keeping the core engaged, and slowly sinking down for a goddess pose. Trying not to lean too far forward. Engage that core, bringing the torso up, shoulders away from the ears, and sink down, breathing in the goddess pose. Using your strong legs to hold you here for 3, 2, and 1. Straightening the legs, turning the feet in, parallel. Inhaling, chest up, hands on hips. We'll just do one more. Forward fold. Just release the head and neck down. Grab elbow to elbow here. Breathing, hanging. On the next inhale, hands come back to hips, chest forward. Exhale. Inhale all the way up. Turning, preparing for the other side. Coming back right around to the front of the mat. Deep inhale here. We've got our feet prepped for warrior 2. And exhale, bending into that front knee. Opening the arms out. Breathing here. Coming in and out of the warrior 2 if you need to. Really engaging that right hip up and under towards the midline. Keeping the shoulders, neck, and head relaxed. One more inhale and exhale. Coming around to frame the right foot with the hands. Inhale, stepping back into a high plank. Go through your vinyasa, whether it's low plank, baby cobra, or upward facing dog. Meeting in downward facing dog. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale and gaze forward. Exhale, make your way, feet to hands. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale to fold. And inhale all the way up, rise up, arms up. Hands heart center and down by the side into Tadasana. We'll do a couple of variations on Sun Salutation B here. So let's inhaling, drop the hips back, arms up, gazes forward or up, hands about shoulder width apart for chair pose here. Lean back so that you can see your toes past your knees. And if you can't, maybe you need to lift out of it a little bit. But let's sit as deeply as we can while still being able to see our toes past our knees. Keeping the core engaged here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Let's just stand up. We'll come back into chair pose and we'll try to do a gentle twist in our chair pose. Inhaling here, exhaling, sit back into chair pose again, hands to heart center. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, begin to turn that right elbow towards the left knee. Trying to keep the legs and the hips and below pretty stationary. So maybe placing that right elbow just on top of the quad, or if you can get it past the left leg, kind of hook it in there and gently pull the chest towards the left for a twisted chair. Breathing here, checking in on your alignment. Knees should be in line. Gaze can go forward or up past your left shoulder. One more inhale and exhale. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, stand, hands to heart center. Breathe here for one good breath. Inhaling, exhaling, sitting back, getting ready for the other side. Hands come to heart center. Exhaling, beginning to move the left elbow towards the right knee and opening into a twisted chair on the other side. Breathing here. On the exhale, allow the twist to deepen into the upper back, sitting deeper maybe, keeping those hips and knees in line, feet solid on the ground. One more deep inhale and exhale, coming back to center. Standing, hands to heart center. This is our last chair in this sequence, so I promise it's good for you. Inhaling, gaze up, sitting back in the chair, exhaling, plant the hands down, step back into a high plank, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. We'll inhale that right foot between the hands, place the knee on the mat. Inhaling, coming up, stabilizing yourself, lifting the arms for a low crescent. Feel that hip flexor stretch. Exhale, hands down to frame the right foot, stepping back, high plank. Going through your vinyasa or skipping it, whatever you like to do. Kneeling down facing dog. On the next inhale, we'll lift the left leg. Apologies, I should have lifted the right leg, but that's okay. Exhale, bringing the knee through, planting it between the hands, placing that right knee onto the mat, coming up into your low crescent on the other side. Exhaling, bring the hands down. Inhale, step back into a high plank. Go through your vinyasa and meet us in downward facing dog for 5 breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhaling, look forward. Exhaling, step or hop your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale to fold. Inhale to chair pose. Inhaling and exhaling to stand, Tadasana. One more time through here with another variation. Let's just do a regular chair. Inhaling, sit back, hips back, gaze forward, core engaged. Deep inhale here, exhaling to fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale, planting the hands. Step back into your high plank, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhaling for downward facing dog. Inhaling the right leg high again. Exhaling, use that momentum to bring it through between the hands. Placing that left knee on the mat. Coming up, hands to heart center. Deep inhale here, engaging the bent knee leg, pulling that left knee towards the front so that you have a nice firm foundation here. As you exhale, begin to lean forward, And try to place that left elbow onto the right knee or somewhere near it. Not allowing the knee to fall inward towards the middle. Press into the left elbow with that knee. And on the inhale and exhale, begin to twist to your right. Breathing here, keeping the spine long, the head and neck long. If you want to and you feel strong today, you can tuck those back toes and lift up for a full twisted crescent here, or low twisted. Breathing here, allowing the twist to happen in the spine, relaxing the head and neck, pulling knee to elbow. Inhaling deeply and exhaling, planting the hands surrounding the right foot, stepping back into your high plank. Exhale, lowering, keeping the elbows into the body. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. On the next inhale, lifting that left leg right into the other side. Bring it through between the hands, setting up for the twist. Once again, inhaling, lift the torso, hands at heart center. Deep inhale here, exhale, begin to lean forward. Hook that right elbow over the left knee. Begin to twist towards the other direction. Breathing deeply here. On the exhale, allow the twist to deepen. On the inhale, feel the spine extending. If you want to, once again, you can tuck that back foot and lift up for an extra challenge. 2 more deep breaths here. And framing that left foot. Inhale to step back. Exhale, lower down, elbows in. Inhale, chest forward. And exhale to downward facing dog. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhaling, gaze forward. Exhale, step the feet or jump up to hands. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhaling, last chair. And exhaling, hands to heart center and down by the side. We'll begin to come into a couple balance poses here now. We'll start with the right foot. So beginning to bring the weight into the right foot. Begin to lift the left toes. So you're kind of kickstanding yourself. When you feel stable with your right toes nice and spread, the weight distributed throughout the right foot, and you found a spot to gaze at that's not going to move, begin to lift that left knee up towards the chest and grab it. You can grab the knee. If you can't lift the knee that high, you can grab under the thigh like this, just wherever you're at. Don't forget to keep that left or lifted foot engaged. So you can either point it or flex it, whatever you need to do to keep that foot and leg engaged. It will help with your stability. Inhaling, lifting the chest, straightening the spine. Exhaling, shifting the right hand to grab that shin or knee area. And on the exhale, begin to open the chest towards the left. If you find that you're losing your balance when you do this, you can keep your gaze forward, or you can just hold the knee like this for this balance pose. But if you're ready to go further, begin to twist to the left, maybe opening the left arm towards the back. Inhaling here and exhaling, finding your stability, keeping that lifted leg engaged. The gaze can go over the left thumb if you're feeling really stable, ready for a challenge. Inhaling here and exhaling. Gaze comes forward, hands come to the left knee. Now we're going to do an interesting transition here. So if you can, continue to balance on the right foot. You can bring your foot down if it's too much though. We'll begin to lean forward and we're going to go straight into a lunge. So let's try to place that lifted foot back and come directly into a crescent lunge here. Inhaling. Exhaling down, hands to frame that right foot. And just step back into a downward facing dog. Now we'll try an interesting pose here for something of an inversion and something of a balance. So we just did our left lifted, so let's begin to lift the right leg high, just keeping it in line with the spine. It doesn't need to go crazy high. And if you feel stable here, you can begin to come up to fingertips on the left hand. Maybe the left hand moves in, fingertips. You got your weight on your right hand and your left foot. Maybe you're stable here. If you feel really stable, keeping your gaze, you can begin to lift that left hand, keeping it engaged, keeping the lifted foot engaged for cross-diagonal balance. And coming back to downward facing dog. Let's try the other side. Shake it out for a minute. All right, we'll be lifting our left leg now. Bringing the weight into the left hand and the right foot. Maybe coming up to fingertips with the right hand. Walking that right hand in a little bit. Maybe this is where you stay. This is a challenge here. Keeping the lifted leg engaged. Maybe begin to lift the right hand for cross-diagonal balance on the other side. I know it's a pretty challenging one, but you know, sometimes it's fun to throw in an extra bit of challenge for a class. All right, so now let's lift our right leg again. Nope, I lied, I apologize, lift the left leg. Inhaling here, exhaling, we're gonna bring it through in between the hands. And now, if you don't want to try this, then just come to standing at the top of your mat. But if you'd like to try the interesting transition kind of backwards, and we'll be coming to stand on the left foot with the right knee grabbed in. So beginning to bring the weight into the left foot, lifting that right knee through, up and under, hugging it in towards your chest. And here we are on the other side for this balance pose. So let's re-engage our standing foot, distributing our weight throughout the four corners, keeping that lifted leg engaged, either flexed or pointed. Inhaling, chest up, spine long, core is engaged. Exhaling, bringing that left hand to the shin, right below the knee area, or the quad if you can't reach it. Beginning to open the chest towards the opposite side, and opening that right arm out behind you. Keeping those hips in line. The gaze can be to the right, or it can be over all the way back towards your thumb if you feel like you can balance there. It becomes really challenging to balance when you gaze backwards like that, so it's good practice. One more breath, twisting as deeply as you can, and on the inhale, coming back forward and releasing the foot down. Shake it out a little bit. Very nice job. Now let's flow back again. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping back into a high plank. And now let's just lower all the way down to the belly. Nice and slow. Lowering all the way down. And we'll begin to do our back bend for today. So the fullest expression would be upward facing bow, which is grabbing the feet, but we'll work our way there. And if that's not accessible for you today, then there are certainly places along the way that you can hold at and get just the same benefits. So placing the forehead on the mat or the chin, beginning to reach the arms forward. Back a little bit, reaching the arms forward. Inhaling deeply, exhaling, engaging the core, bringing the feet to the tops of the feet to touch the floor of the mat, lifting those knees away from the mat. And on the next inhale, lifting just the arms up. We're using the muscles in our back to lift up the shoulders and the chest from the mat, keeping the arms straight, gaze is forward, deep inhale. Legs still engaged. Exhale, release down to the mat. We'll do this one more time, and we'll add in lifting the legs. Deep inhale and exhale. On the next inhale, begin to lift the upper body and the arms again. Glue those big toes together and begin to lift the legs off of the mat as well. Using the low back and the upper back strength to keep yourself here for one more deep breath. Really stretching, really lifting as high as you can, and release. Forehead to the mat. Now we'll repeat that one final time, but if you have the bow in your practice, you can begin to bend those knees. Maybe you want to try it. If it doesn't work today, then you can just go back to our Superman exercise. So trying to bend the knees, keeping the knees pretty close together. We don't want them to get too wide. Reaching back one hand at a time, trying to find the outer edge of the feet. If you're not able to reach the feet comfortably, then just continue with this exercise again, lifting the feet and the hands up. If you are grabbing the feet, inhale here and exhale, engage the core. Inhale, begin pulling the feet and the hands into each other, creating that tension, lifting the chest, gaze goes forward, lifting the knees off of the mat, but keeping them close together. They have the tendency to pull apart. And let's just hold here and bow. Inhaling and exhaling, allowing the neck to have a natural curve, lifting the feet, using the muscles in the back. One more deep breath, fullest expression, and exhale, releasing down to the mat. Breathe here for a moment. Good job. That's a tough back bend. So well done. Let's inhale and exhale, bringing the hands to plant directly under the shoulders, tucking the toes. If you want to try, you can exhale and push up into a high plank, or just make your way into a high plank. Hold here for one good deep breath, and exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale here and exhale through the mouth. One more deep inhale, filling up the belly, exhaling through the mouth. Inhale, exhale, bringing the knees down into a tabletop position. Let's make our way to our backs, however you want to. You can cross the ankles, just sit back over the feet and scooch on your mat, coming to lay down on the back. We'll do one more nice core exercise here, and then we'll begin to do some stretches and warm down. So let's bring both knees into the chest, hug them in. Inhaling and exhaling, lift the chest, lift the arms, pointing those fingertips, active hands, active feet. The core is engaged. We're lifting the chest and allowing the neck to still retain its natural curve. So maybe lift the chin just a little bit. Inhale here, exhale, extend that left leg long. Maybe lift the chest and head a little bit higher. Keeping that core engaged, keeping both feet active. Deep inhale, exhale, switch the legs. Deep inhale, exhale, switch the legs again. We'll do 5 more at your own pace. Inhale, exhale to switch. Inhale, exhale to switch. 4. Inhale, exhale to switch. Keep that chest lifted. Inhale, exhale to switch. 3. Inhale, exhale to switch. 2. Inhale, exhale to switch. 1. And inhale, exhale. 1 for good luck. Release the head down to the mat. Hug knees into the chest. Good job. Inhaling and exhaling. Now let's begin to make our way into our favorite hip stretch here. So we can try figure 4, which would be to bring the shin bone right above the ankle on the right foot to a spot right below the knee on the bent leg of the other leg. We're allowing the head and the upper body to completely relax here. Reach through the figure 4 hole underneath the right knee bent here and try to grab the shin of the left leg. If you can't reach that, you can just grab underneath the upper leg here like this and begin to pull that towards your chest until you start to feel a nice stretch in the right hip. So wherever you're at, relaxing the head back, relaxing the shoulders back, breathing deeply, pulling that knee in towards the chest. If you like other hip stretches, you can take whatever options that you like. Breathing. On the exhale, allow the stretch to deepen. On the inhale, feel the looseness in the hip. When you're ready, begin to lower that foot to the mat. Uncross the leg. Wiggle it out a little bit. Begin to prepare for the other side. So bringing the left ankle to the right knee. Inhaling here and exhaling, reaching through to wherever you can grab, whether it's under the hamstring or all the way through to the shin. Keeping the entire spine pasted to the mat from the tailbone all the way up through the head. Hugging that right shin in towards the body, feeling the stretch in the hip and the glute. Feeling the looseness and relaxation spread through the hip with every breath. Sinking a bit deeper. Inhaling, exhaling, releasing, bringing both feet to the mat. Let's just do maybe a happy baby. So bringing the knees up to the chest, feet as if they're stamping on the ceiling, and come to reach for your feet if you can. You can also grab right behind the knees and pull back if the feet are not accessible to you. This is a really great hip stretch though. The aim is to keep the entire spine on the mat. So we're not lifting, we're not like pulling our hips up off the mat like that. Pasting that tailbone and sacrum all the way down onto the mat, all the way through the head and neck. And begin to pull the knees towards the armpits, keeping the shins perpendicular to the ground, the feet as if they're being stamped onto the ceiling. With every breath, just pulling a little bit deeper, allowing the hips to just open up. Stretching the areas that we did a lot of work on today during class. One more breath here. And slowly releasing, hugging the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little bit of a roll. You can take any final poses that you want to. If you need another hip stretch, or if you want to maybe put legs up the wall, you are welcome to do that. We have a little bit of extra time today, but I think I might just take this opportunity to give you an extra long Shavasana with some guided Shavasana meditation. So whenever you're ready, making your way slowly, gently into your Shavasana. Allow the legs to extend, allow the feet to fall out, keeping the feet as wide as the mat if that's comfortable to you. allowing the arms to lay by the side, palms up, lifting the right shoulder and placing the shoulder blade under the back, lifting the left shoulder, placing the shoulder blade under the back. Begin to gently allow the eyes to close and bring your attention inward. Allow the breath to be natural, natural rhythmic breathing. The breath flowing in, filling up your entire body, and the exhale flowing out, emptying everything out. The inhale filling up through the torso, filling up through the legs, all the way to the toes. And the exhales, clearing everything out. The inhales filling up through the arms, all the way swirling at the fingertips. And flowing out, releasing anything that needs to be released. Allow the breath to be natural. Whole body supported by the mat, sinking gently into the earth. Natural breath. If any thoughts pass through your mind, just observe them and allow them to leave just as quickly as they came in. Picturing them like leaves drifting down the river. They come into sight and they come out. None lingering. Coming back to focus on the relaxation in the body. Bringing attention all the way down to your toes. Allowing the toes and the feet to relax completely, every little muscle. Relaxing the calves completely. Relaxing the thighs completely. Relaxing the hips completely into the earth, sinking down. Relaxing the back muscles. Relaxing the upper back muscles and the shoulders. Relaxing the upper arms. Relaxing the lower arms. Relaxing the right hand and the right fingers. Relaxing the left hand and the left fingers. Allowing the front of the shoulders to relax and sink down. Allowing the chest and the abdomen to relax. The front of the legs, top of the shins. Allow the neck to completely relax. The muscles in the jaw release. Muscles in the mouth release. Tension in between your eyebrows releases. Muscles in the scalp completely relaxed. The eyelids completely relaxed. The whole body completely relaxed. The whole body completely relaxed. When you're ready, begin to deepen the breath again. Bring small movements into your fingertips and your toes. Maybe reaching your arms above the head and giving yourself a nice stretch from the toes all the way up to the fingertips. As you awaken yourself from your Shavasana, make your way up to seated, whatever way you like, maybe rolling to one side for a moment and slowly pushing your way up to an easy seat. And come to sitting. We'll take 3 final deep breaths here. Inhaling, arms up over the head. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Deep inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. One more, inhaling, arms up. All together, exhaling completely. The light, the love, the peace and happiness in me salutes the light, the love, the peace and happiness in you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. Thank you.